Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forged Lands Forever. Today, I have a 5v5 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxis map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 in the Northwest, and with Team 2 in the Southeast. Starting off with Team 1's northeastern-ish most player, and working our way clockwise around the map, we have in Ruby Red Vizimosis going first line as a UEF. He is an 1800. Unlikely he is a red color, which means that I can just say red, and it is not confusing for me or anybody else watching. So thank you, Red Vizimosis, for that. To his south in Rust, we have the Aeon player of Chicken Rayaba going first land. He is a 1600. In the south there for Team 1, we have in Tropical Ocean Blue, Alex 666 going first line as a UEF. He is a 1400. To his north is Lenkin going first line as a Cybran in lightish red pink. He is an 1800. And last but not least here for Team 1 in the rear go slot here for his team, it is Drimmer going first line as an Aeon. He is a 2100, the highest rated player on Team 1 and in the game overall. And again, he is in orange and orange in the rear guard air slot. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have 2 Aeon, 2 UEF, and 1 Cybran, which means Team 1 lacks Seraphim technology. Starting off with Team 2's southwesternmost player and working our way clockwise as well. Don't confuse myself here. In Stitch Blue, we have JDK going first line as a Cybran. He is a 1500. To his northeast, we have in Regal Purple Star Chasm Nyx going first line as an Aeon. He is a 1700. And to his east, we have in Glow in the Dark Green Nightly going first line as an Aeon as well. He is an 1800. To his south, we have in Chevy Crimson Dimitri 11 going first line as a Cybran. He is a 2000 rated player, the highest rated player on Team 2. And again, he is in the rear guard air slot. And last but not least for Team 2 and for the game overall, we have RNA going first line as a UEF as a 1700 in Pac-Man yellow. And again, he's going first land. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have 2 Aeon as well, 2 Cybrans and 1 UEF, meaning the difference between Team 1 and Team 2. Team 1 has 2 UEF players. Team 2 has 2 Cybran players, which means for the entirety of the game overall, there are no Seraphim players. Apologies to those apologies to those who arrive early but love to make a grand entrance. Hopefully you will forgive me for not having a cast with you in it, but you will enjoy it nonetheless. And for 10 players on the map, let's take a look at how much reclaim they have to scoop up. I was very excited, and then I was very disappointed. Only 3,600 mass in its entirety to scoop up, but that means it's only about 300 mass per player, which, I mean, it's something. It's not a lot or great at all, but it's something. But what they lack in reclaim, they definitely make up for in mass point locations on the map. Starting off with Team 2 side of the map, we have a twin mechs down here, a quad mechs, tri-mechs, as well as another quad mechs and another tri-mechs here in the northeast. Got a lot of one-offs in the that section of the map as well. Looking in the middle of the lineup, I don't see much of anything else, but there are a lot of ones just everywhere on Team 1 and Team 2 side of the map. There are 2 central mexes, which are these 2 up here. Everything else, there's a decent degree of territory between the 2 sets of sides of the map. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and bring this game up back to 0, not push enter, because that is not the right button to push, and see where our players are headed off to. There's a large body of water in the northeastern corner of the map, and we already see Red moving in to try to establish an early naval facility to secure that section of the map. We do see that Nightly is headed in that direction. I would not be surprised to see him go for that as well. It's such a huge section of the map. I would be, like I said, surprised not to see anybody go for Navy. There's a small pond here, smaller pond here, a decent-sized pond in the middle. So we could see multiple naval facilities. I don't think anything bigger than maybe T2 can get through that. T3 might get stuck between these 2 little, I don't even know, sandbars, whatever you want to call them, next to the islands. So I don't really see that really going anywhere. I think if anything, T3 is going to be put in this pond, and then maybe T2. We do see Navy has been started for Lenkin in that pond as well. So there's going to be a decent amount of Navy. Of course, always land and air. Land is going to be a little bit restricted because unless you get transports outbound from either team, there's a small land bridge here, a bigger land bridge here, which we might see most of the land engagements, and then a tiny little skinny land bridge over here, which we might see just a couple of T1 units. But having a bunch of, T3s, experimentals, that sort of thing, traversing that sort of very skinny land bridge isn't really great because it essentially just gets locked by pathfinding, and you're kind of just sitting there like, okay, bumping into each other for 10 minutes, and everybody moves like a meteor, and that's it. We see forces have been dropped by Star Chasm onto the opposite side of the map, going after this little bit of reclaim over here, and a bunch of these little labs, little hunters moving around the map. Sorry, these are flares, not hunters. They look like flares. So they look like hunters, but they're flares. And also a couple units from JDK raiding the northern side of the cliff side, I guess, on their opponent's side of the map. We see a little bit of units poking and prodding at Alex 666 down here. We do see that it's going to be JDK versus him in the southwest. Looks like it's going to be at least a 1v1 in the middle. It's going to be kind of hard to tell because there's naval facilities over here, naval facilities over here, but they're not in the same pond, so we'll see how that works out. We do see that the comm of Chicken Mariaba might try to aggressively reclaim those facilities, and T1 torp bombers might be built, T1 torp launchers might be built to deal with that incoming comm. Labs are outbound here from Team 2's player of Nightly moving across that land bridge. He's getting his own naval facilities up online as well, getting a lot of them, I might add, trying to spam up as many subs and frigates as possible. First upgrade of the game, at least the one that I noticed, is Alex for gun damage and range. Team 2's players three. Where's the fifth one? Nightly RNA. RNA's in his base. It's just kind of hard to tell with all that yellow and then the yellow circle around him. 3 of the 5 players on Team 2 have left their main bases. We see Chicken Mariaba is reclaiming as we speak, denying that naval facility, and there are units moving in across that little section of territory that I mentioned. T1 should be fine. T2 should be fine as well. It's only when it comes to T3s really when it's probably going to be a problem. And Star Chasm has been forced out of the naval combat, at least for the time being. I would be surprised to see a facility built over there as well. On Team 1's side of the map, I think everybody has left their main base. We see red. There's another comm over there for Team 1. Yeah, all of the players on Team 1 have left their main bases. We do see that Drimmer's coming in to assist naval construction. I don't know what he's doing. Kind of just moving his comm around. Maybe he's trying to build his own facility. And Frigate outbound trying to deny this frigate who's being built by Nightly, but there are more facilities over here. So going to be a little bit of a longer period of time before we see large naval fleets over there. Team 1 gunships outbound here from Lincoln, trying to again go after everything else on the front side of Star Chasm's facilities. He's kind of just being forced out of both land and naval for the time being. You see Land Army trying to hold back Alex's gun comm, but Alex is, well, he has the advantage with the gun comm, has that extra range, has that extra damage. T2 has been started on JDK's commander, who's going for defensive plays. But again, that offense versus defense will favor Team 1's Alex in the beginning, but as more PD, more shields get built, it will only favor Team 2, at least in terms of this sort of arrangement. If he does fall back, which he is, he's probably going to turtle up, and it's just going to be a bunch of artillery wars in that main land incursion or possibility incursion. We do see over here Mantis going after some strikers. More units are outbound to assist as well. And I mean, we might even see this become the main land I keep saying incursion, main land engagement over here to the southwest. We see the comm of Drimmer moving along that thin land bridge over here. The benefit is he can just dip into the water immediately. The downside is he needs to hold Navy, at least on one side, to be able to do that, which he does have over here with his teammate of Lincoln helping out, and Red is trying to, again, force back Nightly. Torp launcher going to force that frigate back, and more frigates making their main stage appearance. Frigate getting in behind the facility over here, killing up all the engineering support. That's going to be very annoying here for Nightly, but he can respond to that very easily, though. And we do see that Chicken Mariaba is very far forward. He's hit a little bit himself behind that little plateau, but not by much. He's just trying to reclaim as much as he can And with 9 minutes on the clock, no one has died as of yet. No one has been close to death as of yet. But, of course, the game can turn very, very quickly. Torpedo has been done for Dimitri. He's starting T2. Very interesting. He has a transport nearby. And there goes that commander getting that torpedo upgrade. I like how there's just a hole in the Cybran design. You can see that's where the laser goes if you build the laser. I'm trying to see if you can see. You can't see through it, unfortunately, which would be a really cool feature. You could see through that comms chassis, but unfortunately that's not how that works. And while I'm distracted to see what else is going on around the map, we do see that Starchasm has pushed back at least ever so slightly. He looks like he's going to try to force Chicken off. It's an Aeon comm versus a Aeon comm, so no faction advantage one way or the other for hit points or whatever else the case may be. I think it's just hit points that comms have initially, and then depending on the upgrades they go for, one has the advantage over the other, depending on, of course, which comm is facing which kind of comm. We do see a large group of interceptors over here, just securing the skies above the naval facilities over here. The comm of Dimitri is pushing forward, and we do see a group of Lobos outbound on a transport for Red. Looks like he's going to drop here at Nightly, trying to, again, slow down his naval opponent's ability. And those interceptors, oh, they barely miss him. He's going to be able to drop. Will he make it? We'll look at the comm here for a second. Will those units drop? They will drop. The transport gets immediately destroyed. And I wouldn't be surprised to see T1 spam very, very quickly here. There are some flares over here. And one Lobo has died. No, they're fine. All the interceptors are just landing next to them. There is one striker in here, so there's 4 Lobos, 1 striker, which is nice to go after a couple of flares that might be built up. Like here, those labs are moving in. You don't want those sitting still because they're going to just get bombed by those Lobos. But in the north, the comm of Dimitri aggressively lands on top of his opponents of Red and Drimmer. Frigates moving in. I would love to see some subs in here just to assist some torpedo-capable weaponry. T2 is online for Red. He's going for something. Going for something at some point. And those frigates are moving in. Dimitri, again, going after all of the units first, trying to secure the water, take out all of these spam facilities that Red is trying to build up. It looks like those units were dealt with very quickly here. Good response here from Nightly. Love the drop here from Red, killing off again 6 masts a second. It makes a difference, but was it for very long? Not so much, but again, something is better than nothing. Units on the shoreline try to engage those frigates, but they're just barely out of range. Those frigates now going after the rest of those T1 facilities, not going after the T2 naval headquarters. Coopers are being built. Maybe they're going to target the commander because they should be able to see him down there. Yep, they can see him down there, so they know what's going on. And both these commanders are both Aeon and UEF, which means they don't have the torpedo-capable commando upgrade that Dimitri does. And those frigates are spamming out as fast as they can. Cooper gets immediately destroyed. And interceptors over the top try to secure the skies. ASF is online for RNA, so he did not go for eco, which he could have gone. He went for air, so 2 air players for Team 2. Team 1 only has 1 for the time being. Lincoln is kind of a naval player in the middle of the map. And Red is falling back as well as Drimmer. Dimitri has accomplished his task, assisted by Nightly. I said maybe primarily by Nightly and assisted by Dimitri at 11. And that T2 naval headquarters has been destroyed. Huge gains here by Team 2 on the northeastern side of Navy. And comparatively in the middle, Team 1 has the advantage. Starchasm cannot get himself established in Navy. And Alex holding off a push from JDK. He has T2 and Stealth on board. There's no gun. And there are some destroyers online, those Salems, which means they can convert themselves into land units. Alex should be fine here. He's getting some PD and some TMD. Most of these are T1s. There's a couple of Rhinos in the mix, but not too many. And T3 Air says Drimmer. Yeah, Team 2 does have T3 Air in 2 forms, both in Dimitri and in RNA. Team 1 only has the orange player of Drimmer in air. I would not be surprised if maybe Lincoln goes for T3. He already has T2. He's working on his P-gens. Get his power regulation up online. We're talking about missile launchers, possibly. Back, says Lincoln. Talking to Chicken, saying, hey, if you don't fall back, you might get sniped. Nano repair has been started by Dimitri. Very far forward. He's in the yellow, but with that upgrade on board, he should be fine for the time being. Like I said, I'm kind of surprised not seeing any torp bombers outbound from Team 1 on, any sort of things. T2 air is online. Red is building torp bombers, so scratch that. And we do see transports with Dimitri's units on board going after reclaim, I would assume, just to, again, get some more mass income. Speaking of mass income, 14 minutes on the clock. Team 1 at almost 490, 500 mass. There it is, 500 mass for Team 1. Team 2 at 460, so about 40 to 30 mass income more for Team 1. And that's partly due to the fact that Team 2 have been denied mexes, at least in the middle, and a little bit of the reclaim. So Team 1 has been a little bit ahead in that regard. But there are mexes that are down on the shorelines here for Red due to that huge fleet that's just been amassed. Team 1 naval facility tried to be built and will be denied by this group of frigates, a couple of subs, and one Exodus class destroyer. One more shot from that destroyer will be enough. He does not keep with it, so that facility will stay online, but that frigate's going to do most of the damage, so that should be fine for that. We have some more destroyers appearing in the water here for Team 1's Lincoln, going after Pseudo Navy outbound for Starchasm. He's like, I'm Aeon, I can have Pseudo Navy. I guess every player can have Pseudo Navy in some degree, but Aeon really shines with, again, the mobile shields and the mobile AA and the blazes just ripping everything apart. You can see those destroyers are now chasing those units, and those destroyers do make it through. You might be able to fit a battleship through here. We'll just have to see if players do build a battleship and shift it through one way or the other. You do see that Knightley's forces are holding the beach, not allowing Team 1 to build much of anything on the shoreline. And once those destroyers are added, more and more of those resourcing options for Team 1's Red is going to be denied. We see some interceptors going after a transport, but I guess there were engineers on board that landed, so that's good for Dimitri. He's moving them in. We do see that Chicken is now falling back at least a little bit, coming to assist this. We do see that Dimitri has established a frontline Team 1 Cybran naval facility and is going to start moving in onto the shoreline. Probably should change out his torpedo upgrade for a gun upgrade, in my opinion. Gun damage range has been started for Red. And we do see that the Pseudo Navy is starting to lose a lot of its attack power. We see a large group of Pseudo Navy units also outbound from Team 1, this time from Chicken. And they'll probably force back either JDK's position over here or just force back Starchasm. We see that Alex is desperately holding the plateau. The land bridge in the southwest. Calling it everything else but a land bridge, or it's the causeway, or whatever the heck we're going to call it. You see that JDK is in the water over here, just trying to protect himself from being sniped by some Corsairs that are flying overhead. And Alex is, again, like I said, holding position for the time being. Destroyers starting to pummel and poke and prod at everything down here for JDK. He needs some artillery to really force this back. And here comes this pseudo-naval unit outbound from Chicken. Gets stopped a little bit by the forces rebuilding themselves or building back more forces here for Starchasm for another pseudo-naval attempt. And like I said, more destroyers coming online here for Team 2, cruisers as well. And Dimitri, an air player, has decided, no, I want to play land, and I'm just going to land my comm on the front line and call it a day. He has to be very careful because Red Vizinosis is nearby. There is a destroyer or two nearby, so he has to be careful as well. T2PD trying to be established as quickly as they can be. Shield is offline. Dimitri getting a couple of tickle cannons online. Red is going to drop into the yellow here very shortly. We'll get a rank in veterancy, so he'll stave off that for a little bit. Two destroyers now have zeroed in on Red's comm, and Red going after as much of the heating emplacements as he can, but is now getting dropped into the yellow by those two destroyers. He's suffering a lot of damage. He really needs to fall back. Another two shots are inbound. One misses, one hits, drops him below 5,600 hit points. Another two shots are inbound. One miss, one hit, 4,600. Another shot inbound. More and more destroyers essentially forcing Team 1 back. Red, gets hit again in the back. Drops to 3,700. Dodges that shot just barely. Torp bombers waiting to engage. And it looks like Dimitri's going to go north instead of west. This position over here has been destroyed. Red has lost a decent amount of his eco. He's only at 89 mass a second. Stark has him very similarly at 88 in the middle. You can almost tell by how much mass income each player has, what side, like what kind of, are they in a positive moving direction or a negative moving direction. So far, Starkasm is now slowly moving in a slightly less negative direction. He's getting his own naval facilities back online once again. Will he keep them? Who knows? We'll just have to watch. There are some Corsairs moving in, though, and I don't know if they expected. Where are they going? They're going after some TMD, it looks like, which is fine. If you don't have TMLs, then that kind of defeats the purpose, because Cyberns don't have missile launcher capable cruisers. Only the UEF and the Seraphim do, and the Seraphim are not in this game. We do see a large group of pseudo-Neva units here for Alex trying to come around. A couple of torp launchers were built and AA were taken out, and there are forces moving in to intercept, so it's kind of going to be a moot point at that point. We see a couple of mexes over here for JDK, and JDK's comms actually almost went all the way around to this T2 artillery position and PD emplacement, but JDK's like, nah, I'm not going to go for it. There's some Percys nearby. I don't want to engage that. And we do see some air fights going over the top here for both teams. And of course the air mainly going for Dimitri, obviously protecting his commander. We see some oh no, those are missiles. Yeah, those are some T2 missile launchers, the TML-4, because they hold 4 missiles and they launch tactical missiles. Very, very good naming scheme for the Cybern Force. I know I've made a comment about that before, but it's just makes me laugh that it's very on point with the naming scheme. It's not like Aloha or Stone Anger or something like that. It's a TML-4. I think that's the only unit that actually just straight up says what it is in terms of an offensive or defensive unit, not like a power generator or mechs or whatever. T1 bombers trying to go after the shield generator will be denied, and Dimitri really should exchange that torpedo launcher for a gun, a better gun I should say, just because he's on the front lines. He's being tried to force back by Red. Red doing his best to just spam up T1 land and air facilities to just kick off Dimitri. The only issue is if he does kick off Dimitri, he still has to deal with the fleet here for Nightly. And Nightly can just hang back and eco at this point. We do see a lot of forces outbound now for Chicken actually moving in to intercept some reinforcements here for Nightly. And they will get spotted, so Nightly will notice that pseudo-Neva unit inbound. T3 Percy's pushing forward against some T2s here from Alex, pushing back JDK. He's lost his quad mech position and has lost also decent amount of mexes down here, and will lose more mexes over here if these forces turn around and go back west. T2 torp bombers are outbound. Are they going to go after that naval headquarters? Let's zoom in and see what's going on. They're outbound from RNA. We haven't seen a whole lot from him in this game. Running into some flak. Looks like they're going to go after some cruisers first. They've taken out the cruisers. One is gone. The other one is gone. Will they go after the headquarters? They might get shot down before they get another chance to do so. We see those pseudo-Neva units, those blazes moving in to assist with dealing with the rest of those forces for Lenkin outbound from Starkasm. Lenkin's commander is actually on the shoreline hanging out saying, hey, get away. Go away. This is my base. Go away. Cruisers being rebuilt and added to their fleets, but they're being blitzed down very, very quickly here. More destroyers being built as soon as they can as well. More bombers are inbound for RNA. Decent air force as well to protect them. We do see that Team 2's Dimitri has been forced into the water. His land incursion is being just slowly hampered, and we do see that Red Visimosis was defeated in that point. Apologies for missing that. Looks like Red tried to go in, kill off Dimitri, and it didn't really work, unfortunately. Sorry for missing that. But it is now a 4v5 game in favor of Team 2. And at 22 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock, let's take a look at the game overall. Obviously, we just spoke about the comms remaining. Team 1 just lost Red just a couple of moments ago. Apologies again for missing it. Team 2 has all of their players remaining. Team 1 sitting at 1.2k income from mass. Team 2 at 1.1, so a little bit 1,000 mass. A little bit kind of course, teetering back and forth. Team 2 definitely has map control. I mean, obviously, this is just a giant void of water over there, so it's not that big of a, like, hey, The other, you know, we have the pond, the giant pond. Giant pond doesn't yield us much of anything, but at least we have it, kind of thing. We do see, again, more momentum going here for Starchasm, forcing his way forward. T2 Navy is online for him, both pseudo and otherwise. Let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game. Of course, if you haven't done so already, like the video and subscribe to the channel. And again, share this video with anyone, everyone, and especially your pets. And let's zoom in on this attack outbound from Alex in the south, going after JDK's facilities. We are seeing some gunships being thrown together, both from Dimitri and RNA. Pigeons are the main target. And actually, they're just killing everything at this point. I don't think they have a primary target. T3 land headquarters will be taken offline. The shields are actually the main target, surprisingly, not the pigeons. T3 sitting here waiting to be destroyed. Monkey Lord was almost halfway done, but the T3 land is definitely the priority here for Alex. We see that JDK's commander has been isolated from his main facility. More gunships being thrown at this to defend. Love the teamwork here from Team 2's air players just to assist with this. Love the placement of the Omnia. He was probably wishing that plateau was a little bit higher, but trying to use the environment to his advantage. Pigeon is taken offline, and JDK will essentially be knocked out of the game, at least for a little bit. Still has some more T3 and T2 Pigeons around, but at least for the time being, he is kind of knocked out for the time being. Lincoln being taken out by Team 2. Looks like he was taken out by Starchasm forces that decided, oh, the comm's on the shoreline. That's a good idea. Let's go after the comm. And the comm could not escape, and he was killed off as well. This is now a 3v5 second comm I missed. Again, apologies. I try to track so much, but sometimes I miss important things, so thank you for your patience with me as I get even better at casting, even though, I mean, again, I am not perfect, and even though I've casted 300 plus games at this point, I always learn something from every cast I do. I try to get better. I make mistakes. I get distracted, that sort of thing. So I do appreciate the patience. T1 bombers overhead going after something from our Fort Chicken. Don't know where they're going. Running into some flak will get denied. So I don't really know what they were going for. And that attack from Alex is going to be halted. But the entire main base here for Team 2's JDK has been destroyed. He's sitting at 46 mass incoming. He doesn't have the power to power those T3 mexes, and so he's going to be hampered on the ability to generate mass. Another group of T1 bombers outbound, going to be intercepted by both. Oh, nope, ASF start to fly away. They're going to be intercepted by some interceptors from Nightly, and looks like they're going after some T1 naval facilities. Unfortunately, the headquarters will be perfectly fine. Don't really know why those were sent forward, and there are more and more units being added to the pile here in the middle for Team 2's fleet. We see some Team D hastily holding off these Torrent class missile ships. There are 2 of them so far. Third one is on the way. Both the comms of Nightly and Dimitri are sitting over here in the water, just kind of hanging out, and they're sipping some tea or whatever they're doing inside of their commander units. Lots of TMD. It's going to be enough. Team 2 really needs like an Omen or something to crack a couple of those TMD, and then they can crack that position quite nicely, quite easily. Alex's forward momentum in the south is keeping Team 2 fully at bay. Well, not fully at bay, but partially at bay from owning the entire middle of the map. You see Team 2 owns, of course, the big giant pond that is kind of useless at this point. The middle section for the most part, and this southwestern corner, which is mostly being held by Alex, and then this position will be taken out very quickly by these Percys inbound from Alex as well. JDK is in the water. We could see a control K, or not, just from JDK, just because there's really nothing left that he has, but we could see him transferring over and just sitting in the water, maybe building a telemaser or something. He is Cybran. You can always do that as a Cybran. Takes you a while, but you can do it. But Nuke makes a comment by Red, which means Team 2 has a nuke, and it's half loaded. So at 27 minutes on the clock, Dimitri wants to end the game with some nuke and some non-radiation. I mean, there are nukes that have radiation and nukes that don't. I'm assuming these ones do not, because they just blow stuff up. But the comm has been spotted by Team 1. JDK is in the yellow, being bombed by some Solaces. He needs to get out of the water. He's going to be grabbed by some Percys. He needs to jump back into the water, but there's really no chance of that. ASFs are moving in. The first air fight might happen here pretty shortly. DDK again teetering between water and land. Strap bomber coming in from Team 1's Chicken, and that is a kill. Actually, no, that was from Drimmer. Coming outbound here from Team 1. That is a kill. That is the first one I've captured this game. And it is now a 4v3, still in favor of Team 2. T1 bombers finally puncture through the T2 Naval Headquarters hit points and knock out Team 2 Star Chasm's main naval facilities. You see Pseudo Navy just pushing forward. Tons of blazes being thrown at this. Chukwumayaba starting to lose a couple of TMD here. There's more and more, more and more torrents pushing against more and more volcanoes. And Nuke is gonna be launched. Where is it going? Air grid would be a good target. SMD looks like it's gonna be here. It's gonna crack the SMD. That's gonna hurt. Secondary SMD to the west. That was just built. SMD back here has also been built, but just barely. And that nuke will land. And Chicken might just have walked into that nuke. He should see it here pretty shortly. But he's actually being body blocked. He's actually being saved by his own units. I don't think he would have made it in time to be destroyed by that nuke, but that's got to hurt. Here comes Boom. Kills off the T3 land headquarters, kills off some Mexes, kills off some P-Gens. And Chicken's eco just is still fine. It's not great, but it's still fine. He has enough power to really hold off any sort of disaster for the time being. But if there's another disaster that happens, he probably doesn't have enough power. Luckily, he has the base to the north that's really keeping him online. And those torrents break through this T3 Mechs and TMD base. There's only a few more remaining. And there's so many torrent-class missile ships in the water now. We're currently sitting at 6 of them, and that's the range that they have. And that's pretty much as far as they can go. They can probably inch a little bit further to the west, but they'll get maybe a couple of T2 P-Gens. That's really about it. Most of the damage has already been done by Team 2's Nightly. There's really not a lot he can do. He can go after all the other things up here, but that's not really mission critical or, catastrophic for Team 1 to lose. But Blazes punch their way through Star Chasm's main, a valley that he's been holding on for the time being. T1 PD trying to be spammed up by his engineers to hold up all these blazes. Blazes don't have a lot of damage individually, so luckily, it's not taking its toll yet. Engineers are being targeted though. T3 Mexes are being targeted, trying to hold off this push here from Chicken. T3 Mechs might be taken offline. There's been a lot of PD that's been built while those units have been targeted. That T3 Mechs is taken out. That's 27 mass a second that Star Chasm is losing. And not gaining. I like how there's a blaze somehow all the way up there. I guess he went that way with it. And Baratro's coming in, cleansing the rest of these Perseus. Team 1's Alex has now control essentially the entire southwestern section of the map. Solace being attacked by some interceptors from Team 2's Nightly. And another Solace being targeted, just going after whatever they can go after at this point, I think is what it's coming down to. Solaces will be fine. T3 Strat Bomber also running around here for Drimmer. Nuke also online for RNA, the Stone Anger T3 Strategic Missile Launcher. Another nuke is outbound. Speaking of which, here for Team 2 is Dimitri going after this position. SMD will not load in time. This SMD has been loaded. Nuke, counter nuke is online here for Team 1's Drimmer. And another nuke outbound here for Team 2. It's outbound from RNA. I didn't realize he already built it. I thought or loaded it. I thought he just built it. And is that going to land on the same target? Maybe. One of those insurance policies of if the nuke is going to land. If the nuke doesn't land, then we're going to make sure it lands. There's another nuke outbound here from Team 2. There it goes. It's going to land right next to that SMD and T3 air headquarters. And this other nuke is going to come in. Boom, and just cleans the west of it. A little bit further to the west, which means that fusion reactor should be hit. And here it comes, kaboom! Not as impressive, but again, just as important, killing and ensuring that everything gets destroyed. And what does that do to Chicken's eco? Well, it completely drops him into the negative for power. He's going to be really hampered on what he can do at this point. He's sitting at only 415 mass income, which is, again, only 415 at this stage in the game. 32 minutes, excuse me. 1.7k for Team 1, 1.7k for Team 2. And Team 2, again, has secured the northeastern sector of the map. We do see that Colossus is online. Missiles are just spamming each and every place, trying to go after what they can. T3 Mechs, I guess, is still in range. But there's so many TMD. Most of those missiles get distracted. But T3 Mechs does take some hits. And we see another TMD base up here to the north. That's not really going to go anywhere once the missiles punch through the shielding. There it goes. And some of those missiles do make it through. The volcanoes are not perfect. It takes a second to reload and refire that flare. Red makes a comment about Novax. Team 2's RNA going for Novax. Second nuke is a third the way loaded. Third nuke over here is a quarter of the way loaded. 101,000 mass killed off from that nuke. And now an artillery is coming online here for Dimitri. Team 2 is switching up their strategy. They use the nuke once or twice. They go, Team 1's going to prepare for that. They immediately switch to another strategy. Love the strategy here from Team 2. Constantly evolving, constantly keeping Team 1 on their toes. They're driving the game. They make the decision. Team 1 counterattacks, counteracts, and that puts Team 1 on the back foot. Colossus, and they're going to start stomping its way through the remains of Red and Chicken's bases in the north. Chicken holding position in the middle, just kind of suffering right now. Nuke is online, 2/3 the way loaded. I don't see any goals for Drimmer to fight back against whatever Team 1 is doing. There is an artillery that has been started by Drimmer, so there is that. And we do see an artillery started by Alex as well. So if Team 1 can get those artilleries online soon, roughly, I mean, not now, because the disruptor's already land for Team 2, but soon, they might be able to fight back against at least Dimitri's base and then maybe go after RNA. That'd be the, I think, the like order that I'd go after. If I was Team 1, go after Dimitri, then go after RNA. Satellite is online. Second one is on its way. Nuke is almost loaded. And they're still assisting the loading of the nuke here for Dimitri, but he's focusing more on artillery. Second one coming online. I wish you built the shield before you built the artillery, but you're building the shield now, so it's better than never. T1 bombers and T2 gunships moving in to go after that Colossus. Colossus falling back. T3 is also making their appearance as well in those restore varieties. Advanced range has been started by Chicken's commander. He's gone for gun range. He's gone, I'm assuming speed. He hasn't gone for speed yet. And this is not really working well for Team 1. Team 1 was leading the early game quite well, both on the middle and kind of tied between the southwest two players of JDK. But Fat Boy is online, pumping out those shields to protect himself. Gunship's online as well for RNA. There's no AA in this mix, which means those Percies are just getting eviscerated is what's happening to them. Definitely unfortunate for those Percies. We see more and more pseudo-naval units come online once again here for Team 1's Chicken. And Nuke is outbound from Team 2's RNA. What's it going after now? It's going after this base. SMD has been loaded, so that T3 Mech's position will be secured. It looks like the counterattack has commenced. Colossus is online. Team 2 definitely has noticed it, trying to hit it with those missile ships, but unfortunately, missiles launch at where the unit is, not where it's going. When the missile is fired, which means that Colossus is going to avoid all of that firepower. There's no omens in the mix here that I see from Team 2's Nightly. Definitely a missed opportunity for some direct fire weaponry with those missiles. And like I said, oh, there goes the shield. There goes the asylum. And it immediately crushes it, destroys it. Colossus coming into range. Looks like it might get a missile ship or two. The missile ship's trying to get out of range. Another asylum is grabbed on the water. And the laser might grab a frigate, trying to intercede for its partner of a Torrent-class missile ship. But no, one of them does not escape in time. It will be destroyed. But that's not a huge loss for Team 2. You can easily reclaim that since he essentially owns the water still. Nuke is outbound once again for Team 2. This time it's outbound from Dimitri. That's the 5th nuke of the game. And sixth nuke online here for Team 1, going from Drimmer's base, going after this base that's building a Tsar. This SMD is not loaded yet. And it's going to be close. Nuke is outbound to the west. ASF pushing in here for Team 1's Drummer, trying to force their way forward with land forces from Alex. Nuke is outbound, going after this SMD. SMD shoots it down as well. So that T3 Mechs facility will stay online. The Tsar is completed and gets out of range. SMD is close. It is close, but Nuke will land. So the first successful Nuke of Team 1 lands. Great shielding on that SMD, but unfortunately it's not enough. Kaboom! Kills off a couple of Mexes as well. It really just cuts Sarcasm's ability, not a whole lot in half, but a decent amount. How much did it kill off? 68,000. That's a really good nuke. That's a really, really good nuke, considering it was mainly structures and not units or anything like that. But second artillery is online for Team 2's Dimitri. Second laser also online for RNA. We have 2 lasers, 2 artillery, and Team 1, they almost have a Duke online, and they have a disruptor. It just got completed, but it's now 1v2 currently. It might be 2v2 here pretty shortly, but those satellites overhead are going to make shielding annoying because they're going to constantly put pressure on the shields. The shields can't regen. Well, they can regen, they just, once the shields go down, the lasers can just poke them and prod them and destroy those emitters. Now the Fat Boy is online. Looks like Team 2 had a Fat Boy, or that's Team 1's that just started to retreat. The third Fat Boy over here producing more and more units, producing Perseus. Probably needs more AA, I would assume. Donut is online, moving into position. ASF moving into position as well. Group of gunships as well, holding patterns. Also some more gunships. Wow, this is a lot of air power here for both teams. Moving in to position, waiting to get the go-ahead. Gunships move in, go after some Mexes on that plateau. And that Donut not wanting to engage. He knows what's going to happen if he does engage that. And those missiles on board the Donut going after all of the weaker gunships, doing a great job of ripping those apart. But the 2 T3 Mexes, I'm assuming they were up here. Now those are T3 Mexes for sure. That is a loss. That is 54 mass a second. Artillery raining on the artillery, and nukes here for Team 2. Well, nuke and satellites. Artillery's over there. Another nuke outbound here from Team 2's RNA. Going after the Fat Boy. He's like, forget it. Not going after that SMD over there, which would have landed at this point. He's going to go after the more firepower, more deadlier threat currently. And it is right here. How's the satellites going, punching through the shields? Doing a little bit of work. Shields are falling offline, but not too bad. Kaboom! Kills off this Fat Boy as well as all of its supporting units. Takes the pressure off Team 2's land defenses for the time being. Looks like more incursions now from the middle here from Team 1's Chicken, and well as from Drimmer's Restore fleet moving in, killing everything off. ASFs from Dimitri are going to be called forth. ASFs from Team 1 are going to engage those forces. Team 2 probably should send them in at this point. Team 1 looks like they have the bigger group of ASF. Drimmer sitting at 121 plus 44 T3 gunships, so essentially 160 or so. Team 2's sitting at RNA's forces of 22 bingo on fuel plus 29, so 40, 50 plus RNA's, let's say 75, 122, excuse me. So very comparable. Donut is going to be hit, and it's going to go down. Sarcasm's investment goes up in smoke, or I should say goes down in smoke. ASFs do engage from RNA. Gunships moving in here from Team 1's Drimmer as well. ASFs engage those as well. It's just an all-out brawl between these three players. It looks like the SMD is the main target here for those restorers, trying to take those offline so that the nukes can come in. SMD will be taken offline. It was loaded as well. Is there a backup SMD? No, there's not. Does Team 1 have a nuke? Team 1's Colossus moving in. Will it get this SMD? Oh, the SMD is vulnerable, but the Colossus doesn't target it. There's some blazes now targeting it. The Colossus did not. Oh, that's missed opportunity there. If the blazes don't get the SMD, both these bases would have been vulnerable. One of the satellites has been taken offline. Airfight is netted in Team 1's direction. Well, Team 2's direction, I think, just barely, possibly. It's close. There's a lot of Janus over here, so it's making the count confusing. Donut was killed off. Colossus was killed off. Tons of restorers and ASFs were killed off. This nuke eliminated was destroyed, but this one is still online. And if he didn't edge nuke it enough, it might be killed off by that SMD. Oh, I think he edge nuked it just barely. That baser for Dimitri is going to go up in smokes. It looked like for a while Team 2 was just going to be a steamrolling on Team 1, but with the air fight, with the nuke inbound, SMD was built hastily. It's not, SMD was built, not going to load in time. Here goes the nuke launcher, was about to finish loading. Kaboom! Kills off the nuke launcher, does not kill off the artillery. That's a missed opportunity. I know there's an SMD that was, hold on, did he thread the needle on that? Hold on. Did he thread the needle on that? That why he did it the way he did it? He did. Look at that. So there's an SMD there and an SMD there. So he had to put it there, essentially. That is very close. Wow, great nukage by Team 1. I didn't realize that there was an SMD over there. That is great placement there. The artillery is still online and the SMD is online. Unfortunate for Team 1. Drummer, but again, he's done a great job taking off the nuke, taking out the air grid. One of the satellites has been taken offline here for RNA. The artillery's been punching through. Over here, Duke is online. Second one almost online as well. And of course, the Disruptor's been online the entire time. We do see land invasions now occurring in the north. Janus moving in, trying to stoke that the flames of war on that Colossus' back. And the unit's just punching through the hole that's just bleeding here for Team 2. We see gunships being thrown at this. And artillery still raining in on this position. Duke being built here by Dimitri, trying to diversify his artillery portfolio. And Nuke, how is it looking? One is loaded. And this SMD should be loaded as well. It is not. It soon will be. This SMD is loaded. This SMD is loaded, so the artillery are protected. And ASF moving in here from Team 2 just to secure the skies. Blaze is moving in, going after any sort of resources they can. What's Knightley been up to? He's going for a donut as we speak. I don't know if it's that important to go for T4 air units at this point, just because air has been very much kind of back and forth. Team 1 had a little bit of advantage, and then they used it to kill off an air grid and a decent amount of mechs. And those blazes still moving in, killing off all those resourcing options for Knightley. Artillery still raining in here from Team 2. Third Duke is almost, or third artillery piece being a Duke is almost online, and SMD is going to load. So those artillery will be protected from nukes. Team 1's nuke has it looking 150,000 mass killed off. So the second nuke killed off over 90,000 mass. We have multiple that's what Knightley's been doing. So he's been doing Tsar and Colossus construction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thought I saw a 6th one, but maybe not. That one's under construction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's just 5. Team 1 has none. That bunch of PD, bunch of AA. But those Colossus look like they might just steamroll the north. Artillery still trying to take out the artillery for Team 2. This one is almost done. Shields starting to fall on this northern side. PD being built to defend. Oh, that line of PD gets taken out. That's unfortunate. Team 1 does not have any Cybran comms remaining, which means no telemasers can occur. Team 2 still has Dimitri, who can do that. And looks like those Colossus are pushing to the north. Park misses near shore. Oh, Park missile. Okay, Park and near shore. Okay, I was like, what is he talking about? But he's talking about those missile ships. 1 Colossus versus 5. Second Colossus, third Colossus inbound. And the naval and land incursion has started to commence here. This one's dude, facing the wrong way there, bud. Facing the wrong way. And this Colossus is weakened already. Does have some shield protection though, but again, versus 5 Colossus, it's only going to go one way. But there is another Colossus inbound here from Dremmer with 4 V5. Missiles are inbound, and those targets should be sitting still. They should be in range, I believe, of Knightley's. No, they're not. They're barely out of range. Unfortunate. Strap bombers over top. RNA's forces will secure the skies. Donut is inbound for RNA as well. 5 Colossus zooming in, lasering 1 Colossus. That is a 5-to-1 advantage. No one wants to be on the end of that. Donut is holding strong. There's a lot of AA nearby, so he has to be careful of how far he pushes in with those restorers. Team 2 still has not lost any of their Colossi as of yet. This one's going to be taken out, and the fourth and final one will be destroyed. And that land incursion will just continue to commence. Restorers moving in southward. I wonder where they're going. Not Colossus. Artillery, how's it done? It's taken out one of the artilleries here for Team 2's Dimitri. He has the third one, now second one, online in the form of that Duke. How's the satellite/artillery push going on this one? Nope, this one's still holding. The two Dukes still holding as well. Team 1's Alex and Drimmer holding off Team 2's artillery. Nuke is online and loaded. And another satellite has been started. This satellite took a hit. It's fine for now. Looks like RNA might be targeted directly by that artillery emplacement. Looks like that's by... I think that's by Drimmer going after the comm. Comm of Alex moves. He has a shield. He was standing next to P-Gens. That's never a good thing. Doesn't want any sort of AoE volatile explosions to happen. Colossus pushing in. One of them going south to intercept this one, but the four remaining go westward. This is just a delaying tactic, essentially. Those Colossus are moving in, and that TMD... that PD might not be enough. Donut is in the distance. Storming down the gates of Team 1's air player. There they go. There's not a lot that remains after this. Colossus just stomps on through. The question is, do they just walk or do they just sit there and laser everything? This Colossus breaks out from the main group going southwest, going after all the Mechs. And those volatile explosions are occurring. Looks like they are just going to laser everything. I think that's what they're going to do, just to make it easier. And Donut is inbound. Those restorers, don't know where they went. They all disappeared. Looks like they had a huge possible fight. Oh yeah, these are the restorer wrecks down here. Team 2 denied their entry, unfortunately for Team 1. AFK says chicken. Don't know what that's in reference to. That's why no ping, just chat mess. We see those Colossus continue to just barrel on through. Donut is inbound. Do they know where Team 1's commander is? They see an icon in the water. They assume it's the comm, or at least I would assume it's the comm. One of the Colossus have not been defeated yet. Restorers, at least the remaining of them, have been trying to punch through those Colossus' hit points. Now they're going to go after the Donut. The Donut actually shifting southward. This is not good here for Team 1's artillery. If that Donut gets anywhere close to that artillery piece, it is gone. It's going to crash land and blow everything up. The shields are almost gone. Czar still has all of its hit points. Almost that 1-star veterancy. I hardly see Czars with veterancy on board. Restorer is trying to chase that Donut. The Donut is in the yellow. Satellites over top. Has killed off the artillery here for Team 1's Drimmer. And Team 1's player of Chicken either control Ks or is killed off by Knightley. Killed off by Knightley's Colossus. The Czar is defeated, but that artillery is gone. Team 1 still has 2 artillery pieces for Alex, third one under construction in his base. Colossus just standing over here. Their heads are sticking up out of the water. One of them is destroyed. Crash damage. Will it hit Drimmer's commander? No, it won't. Stomp him to death. It's JDK. They're trying to stop him to death, but I think because he's on a hill, it makes it difficult to actually hit the commander. Artillery in the southwest. Sorry, southeast. Still online here for Dimitri. And second laser is online here for RNA. The air grid is down. Team 1 is not looking good at this point. 48 minutes on the clock. The artillery is the only thing keeping Team 1 in this game. Once that goes down, that is game over. If you look at this one, I'm going to speed it up to just +1. Artillery taking the shields offline. Oh, the artillery takes a hit but doesn't die. Oh, just barely punctures through the shields just enough. Lasers trying to break the shielding. I love the amount of shielding around this base, though. There's so many T3s. I would love to see some T2s, though, to kind of create a nice little dual layered effect, but you know, that's 27 shield or 26 shields, not counting this one. That's a lot of shielding. Every shield, that's 17,000 hit points. That's a lot of HP to chew through. Nuke is launching for Team 2. It's not from Team 1 because theirs got destroyed unless they hit someone somewhere else. Nuke is going to land in front of those Perseus. They're going to have a very, very nice seats for a very explosive play that's about to happen here in a couple of seconds. Will Alex notice the threat? No, he will not. Will it kill off all? Oh, the SMD grabs it at the last second. Oh, Nightly asking Drimmer, are you dying? No, he's not. He's just kind of holding out, sitting there. I love how the Colossus is still visible, and so the T1 bombers can just bomb it. Depends on the diet and habits. We have the Colossus moving in from the north, going after the artillery base over here. Shields trying to puncture in. The shields fall offline. Oh, there goes one of the artilleries. Half of the shielding goes offline. Alex fixes his power. Looks like he had some power issues for a brief second. One artillery is now offline. Second Colossus coming in from the south, one from the north. He's going to be sandwiched between two Colossi. That is not a great meal there. Does not sound great having a, was it Duke surrounded by some Colossus? Sounds like a good defensive strategy, but not so great sandwich food-wise. Reminds me of the chicken sandwich I made, someone made a comment about with that one video with the two chickens killing the fat boy. And the shields are still holding. To be fair, Alex trying to keep them online. Colossus microing, not microing, but lasering the comm of Alex. There he goes. He did his best. And there he goes. Team 1's last remaining player is Drimmer. And his base is just dead and gone. And it's just going to be the last cleansing of the map here for Team 2. Team 2 did a great job. Team 1, it looked like they had an upper hand. Another nuke lands down here, kills off more units. I was the last one standing. No, Nightly. No, you don't. Says chicken. Dimitri control Ks. What's up with that? What? There's still a GC on his face. He's over here. Maybe connection issue, possibly. Do Torps friendly fire if GC's in front of him. That'll be funny. Torp bombers are inbound. Sensor package is being built by Drimmer just to see his imminent demise. See if I can zoom in. Some of those bombers are actually getting shot down before they can actually reach their targets. We have some gunships over here. They're actually going to shoot down all of the Storks, so no, unfortunately, we're not going to see if that works. And ground firing doesn't really do anything, unfortunately, for those gunships either. And Drimmer is going to just look at a donut moving in. He's going to die by donut. It's not a bad way to go out. Not a great way, not a bad way. Donut is losing a lot of its shield hit points, though. That's a lot of flak over here. Once the shields fall, there go the hit points. Quite, not super fast, but enough. The Colossus moves to make way for the donut. And we have a strap bomber running around as well. And there go those depth charges inbound. I think he's not deep enough. Maybe that's the problem. And he's going to then activate the laser. That doesn't work. Looks like there's some experimentation going on at the end of the game, trying to figure out why the comm of Drimmer is not dying. Flak. Is the flak going to kill the donut and then the donut crash on the comm and kill the comm? Is that how it's going to go? I'm going to speed this up to 1 again. I mean, I might as well just control K of the donut at this point. Drimmer still holding position, just not giving up. And there we go. No, that's a pause. Never mind. If that was the end of the game, but it is not. The shield is about to be recharged. There he goes. He teleports out. He says, I'm done. See you, bye. And that is the game here. 53 minutes, 24 seconds on the clock, and Team 2 wins the game. MVP of this game has to go to Dimitri, 11. He did a very, very, very good job. He got a nuke, which was really impactful. He got artillery. He didn't just keep loading nukes. He's like, oh, I'm going to switch strategies and go to the satellite. We did see that RNA did the exact same thing. He built the nuke. He launched the nuke, then switched the satellites. He went for, Dimitri went for artillery. Dimitri also was hyper aggressive on the front line, did the best he can to hold Team 1 back. He was instrumental in helping kill off Red, which kept a lot of Nightly's just APM very, he didn't have to do a whole lot in the sense that he didn't have to micro every little thing. He was able to expand that a little bit, sitting at 730 mass income. built a bunch of Colossus in the meantime of this kind of nice lull in activity. And then Knightley was able to push him with those, essentially cleanse the rest of the map for the most part. And then it was just mop-up operations for Team 2. So I think Dimitri 11 set the stage for Team 2, or his team winning the game. If you agree with me or not, let me know down in the comments. Thank you so very much for watching to the end of the video. And I will see all of you in the next one.